Hello. Welcome to You Don't Need 10. You Don't Need 10 started as a book, and then when I felt our story wasn't over, it became a blog. Now I'm working on these audio recordings. So the blog has been going for 140 weeks in a row. Every Tuesday, there's a new blog post on the youdon'tneed10.com website. The last couple months, I've been working on these audio recordings. So I'm keeping up the audio recordings as there's a new blog post out, but I'm also going back in time and working on the old blog posts. There's been, some feedback over the years that people are, more interested in listening to things now, and it's harder to find time to read and etc. So I'm going back in time and recording some of these old blog posts. So today I'm working on what would have been blog post number 8, and it was from November 2nd of 2021. So that would have been the month that Paisley turned 10. So it was over 2 years ago. So keep in mind, she was 10 and this was almost 2 years, or it was over 2 years ago. And then also keep in mind, I'm not a writer in the regular sense. I'm simply a mom that, has always journaled and turned that into a book. And then, I felt our story wasn't necessarily over. So I started working on a blog, and now we're in April. It was Limb Difference Awareness Month, and I was trying to come up with something new. And so I thought maybe I'd give these audio recordings a try. But this entire thing has been, a mental health journey for myself as well. So today we're talking about blog post number 8. I think what was originally number 8. It's called True Story. So True Story blog post from November 2nd, 2021. You will almost never get sister to tell you how she is really feeling. You will almost never get her to tell you the truth about how a situation made her feel. You have to read it out of her, read between the lines or guess. Eventually, I can usually get to the bottom of a feeling or a feeling response, or I like to think that I can. She doesn't want to feel vulnerable. She doesn't want to feel her feelings, and she doesn't want them, and she doesn't feel them. And if she doesn't feel them, they aren't as real. They also come out in different ways. People often see her as a brat or sassy or rude, but really she's anxious, sad, angry, feeling something. Yesterday I picked her up from school. She seemed to be in a good mood. I asked her how her day was. She said good. I asked her if she'd had a meeting with her teacher yet about some mean girls, and she said yes. Said it had gone really well. I asked her if she had been honest about how bad it's been, and she said she was. Then she proceeds to tell me that her teacher was also checking in with her about a video or some videos to see if they had made her feel uncomfortable. And I asked her why. What were they about? I'm still not at this point entirely sure, but maybe some amphibians that are able to regrow limbs or tails or something. I didn't follow. However, she had told the teacher they were fine and they didn't bother her. We both went on about the car ride to pick up the boys, went home, got her dance bag, and I dropped her off at the studio. Picked her up, seemed in a good mood until she asked about a dance convention. I tried explaining that we are unable to go this weekend. That did not go over well. Not at all. Now, maybe this really was all about the convention, maybe exhaustion from the day and busy weekend. Maybe it was partially about having to talk about her feelings for a minute at school. We may never know, and it doesn't matter. That's not really where I'm going here. We all went to bed and we reset the day. Today she had a therapy appointment, which had needed to be moved, so it was in the middle of the day and came with a lunch date. So she was super pumped and great. We went to therapy together. I did the initial visit where I give my 2 cents and sometimes an idea of where to start the session. Today I started with an update on an extracurricular class that's bothering her. And then I led into the teacher at school having a meeting update about the girls at school And as those words were coming out of my mouth, my head is exploding and it's hitting me like more than a light bulb, more like a spotlight, that she hadn't really been okay with the videos at school. I had taken her word for it yesterday and never thought another thing about it until that moment as I said it out loud. She'd met with her teacher, who's doing a super fabulous, amazing job with her. I looked at P and I said, her teacher also wanted to talk about some videos at school made her feel, about how some videos at school made her feel. And she told her teacher that she was fine with them. But then I looked at her and I said, you really weren't fine with them, were you? No, I wasn't. I knew it. Somewhere, I just knew it, I said. I glanced at her therapist and I said, well, I think that's a good place to start for today. And I left. After therapy, I picked her up, and as we were driving to meet her dad for lunch at Applebee's, she said to me, how did you know? And I said, I'm really not entirely sure, but I know you pretty well, and this is one of those moments I knew you. We exchanged some sentences back and forth, and she seemed shocked that ultimately at the root I had known, but also said that it's happened before, and sometimes her therapist can do it too, and we're creepy, like we have a device tracking her thoughts and heart. Well, baby girl, I do not, but I truly wish that I did. It would save us a lot of guesswork and heartache. So that was blog post number 8 from November 2nd of 2021 called True Story. So thank you for listening.